We're going 3,
some
2,
hair,
1.
so I look like a complete turtle.
We back, y'all.
Hey!
What's going on?
You see me? I'm so happy because, the sun is out.
It's Friday.
I am so excited. Oh, and that is Friday.
Yeah, well, we're recording on Friday. Technically Sunday.
Oh, that's right. And it's Sunday. And it's Sunday.
And it's still sunny.
Yes. And still
sunny outside.
Sunny and beautiful.
Don't ask us how we know how.
So, welcome to Health Matters. This is your host, Felicia Bridges, with my co-host,
Mr. Cat Fitness himself.
I forgot to say Dr. Bridges.
You
guys know me. You guys know me.
Or they're getting to know you.
Yeah.
Because, we get new viewers all the time.
That's true. So it's Dr. Felicia Bridges. And I am so happy today to have in the studios with me Tamiko. Did I do it right?
Mm-hmm. You right.
Uh-huh.
Tamiko Garner.
Yeah.
I'll edit all of that out.
Okay.
That's why she's the producer, y'all. We make magic in the studio for y'all that don't know.
I also go for the mic. You just keep going and talk your way. I learned this from a radio guru. Talk through the eras. People won't even know.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to the studios, Tamiko Garner.
Thank you, Tamiko.
Tamiko Garner.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. It's okay. I get it all the time. All the time.
I got it right though, Tamiko.
Yes, you did.
I get some extra credit bonus points for those.
Thank you.
You know?
You are a vegan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you are a blogger. Well, kind of a blogger, event planner.
Yeah.
Around vegan activities. I'm not doing this justice. So before I put my foot in my mouth, just one more again.
Well, you got the bio right in front of you. Pull it out.
I know.
You got the cheat code, and you're not even using it.
I'm not even cheating.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's right there in front of you.
Let me do this justice. I should not.
Okay.
Nobody said you had to memorize on radio.
You know what, though? I'm nervous. I don't know why that is. Really? I kind of got butterflies.
Okay. Well,
I think it's the red sweater. I think it's the red Cat Fitness sweater on today.
I want some of your
everybody like the red Cat Fitness. I
know.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we should do a shakedown.
Shake it.
I forgot to ground myself before I went on air, but no worries, we're here. So, she is a sister who loves.
She's a plant-based sister.
A plant-based sister who loves shoes, girl. You don't even want to know about my shoe fetish. Dance, snack. We got a lot in common. And laugh, because I love to laugh. I'm always watching. I start the morning watching comedies. And I do like my glass of wine. And I also love Moscow Mules. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite drinks is a lemon drop. But more so, they call it the red velvet, where it's a lemon drop with a Chambord float in it. Amazing.
Where you get that?
Anywhere, just make sure. Some people, a lot of bartenders. I know liquor kind of is vegan, but anyway, a lot of bad bartenders don't know how to make a good red velvet. So what I do is I order a lemon drop, and I said, could you please have a little side of Chambord, and then I pour it myself. And it's beautiful.
Okay. And see, that man, 2 years ago, I would have been all over that. Right. But I've been sober for the last 2 years now.
Well, it's funny that that I've even talking about it. I'm just going off of memory because I don't think I've had a drink in about a year. Yeah. So I'm kind of like alcoholless myself.
Yeah. So
that's all right though, but I'm not like
fully indulged
away, but I
haven't had the urge. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing here. So Tamiko, we got you to the present. Let's see how you got to this particular point in your life, right? Okay. So I know, off air we've talked, and I've read your bio and everything, but you're not from the Bay Area.
I am not from the Bay Area.
Tell the viewers where you're from.
I am born and raised Chicago.
Chi-town,
Illinois.
Okay.
Yes.
Chi-
With roots from Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
What part? Little Rock?
Okay, so it's this little town called Julius, Arkansas.
Julius.
You
I've
know
heard
about
of Julius.
You do?
Yeah.
Now you are
I
rare breed.
I have family in Conway.
Okay.
And I have a family in Hot Springs.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I do.
My cousin worked at St. Helena Hospital for years. I don't know if she's still there. She might still be there.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe you know about Julius, Arkansas. That's amazing.
I learned how to swim at the YMCA in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Wow. Yep, because our closest town was Crawfordsville.
Okay. All right. Wow.
So back in Chicago, I see that, you weren't always plant-based. You weren't even vegan at that time. So tell the viewers how you grew up and, what was the daily nutrition that you would get as a kid growing up in Chicago.
Well, for me, my favorite stuff to eat was macaroni and cheese and nothing that were vegetables. So
vegetables didn't exist in your words.
I didn't like it. Now, not that it wasn't served.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember, of course, we had the traditional stuff like greens and cornbread and, all your traditions. Well, I didn't like greens. So one day my aunt, I had to sit at the table. We had greens for lunch or something. And so much that I didn't like it. And I was like, I am not eating those greens. So I snuck and threw them in the garbage. And she said, I bet you didn't eat those greens. I was like, how she know? She was sitting in a whole nother room. I was like, what? You better go back and eat them greens. So she put more greens on my plate.
And you couldn't get up from the table until you ate
it. And I didn't like green peas. I would pick green peas out of everything. If it had green peas in it, I'm picking it out. I didn't like tomatoes. Well, I still don't really like tomatoes, but didn't like tomatoes. So, but my family from the South, we had traditional Southern foods. Now, my mom was the gourmet.
A lot of fried, greasy food.
A little fried food, But my mother, on the other hand, I've called her the Black Martha Stewart.
Okay.
That was before B. Smith came along, right? But so she cooked gourmet a lot of times, or she cooked with wine. So she was a little bit more, healthy kind of, stuff. But I would love to be my aunt, so we ate. Plenty of stuff. Oh, student. Yeah. So we ate plenty of, good fat stuff. Cakes, and I learned how to bake a cake from scratch when I was about 11.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you threw your greens in the garbage. But in my house, if I'd have did something like that, that was a butt whooping right there. But
it was going down at the house.
It was going down. I couldn't throw away nothing. I came from what? You gonna eat all of this?
Oh yeah.
Regardless whether you like it or not. And lima beans. But keep going.
Lima beans, yeah. See all that. And
didn't
so
sit well with you.
I'd eat a little bit, but I did like corn.
Yeah.
It's also a vegetable.
Right.
I liked corn.
So you had an experience from what I was looking at your bio. You had an experience what made you go vegetarian. So tell us a little bit about that experience that kind of converted you.
So this was back in 1986, I believe it was.
Okay.
And somehow I came across this book called Fit for Life.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, it talks about how long food and stuff stays in your body and the perfect times to eat, like when you should eat fruit, it should be in the morning on an empty stomach and, timing. So I said, oh, that's interesting. So it talked about how long beef stays in your system. And I went, how many days? Oh, I wonder
potentially years.
Right. So I was like, well, I wonder how long I can go without eating meat.
Yeah.
It was a whim. All whim. And
just off the book.
Off the book. I haven't touched meat since 1986.
Wow.
So it was that book that got me to think about it.
That book, Fit for Life, it keeps coming up.
Yeah.
We need to do something about it. I don't know.
We got to have a sit down and have a read along with that book or something.
Yeah.
So now, when you went cold turkey and stopped eating meat back then, did you come across any issues, or did you how did your family feel about it?
Oh, well, that was interesting because when I started was about a week before Thanksgiving.
Uh-oh.
Or something. It was around. It was in November, and I had to go back home. I don't know. I went back home, and I had to go home for a funeral, and it was around Thanksgiving time.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, all the spread is out there. And they were like, "You moved to California and eat no meat. You're going to turn out to be a little bit of nothing. What do you mean you eat no meat? What do you mean you eat meat?"
Right?
You moved to California? What
changed
is that? Right.
Yeah.
Even though I've been in California for a while prior to that. But they were just like, "What are you talking about?" And, at that time, you didn't hardly ever see anything about vegetarian or vegan or nothing. I did eat, meat. I mean, I ate cheese and dairy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started out not even eating seafood.
Mm.
And the only reason why I would eat seafood was to go out to eat. So I had more options to eat. I was like, well, I guess I'll have some fish. At least it's something on the menu besides just a salad at that time. But now, my God, it's like
yeah.
The world is open to you. So you get everything.
So one of the things were you even thinking about going vegan at that time, or did you even know anything about the vegan lifestyle?
At that time, I didn't.
Time,
I didn't. It wasn't until I would say maybe when was that? Sometime in the 2011 or something like that. I think I had thought about it and went raw for like a whole month. In July.
How was that?
Man, that was interesting. Because you're looking at that bread, you sitting out there at Kincaid.
Man,
you look at that bread like, bread. Right. I felt like I was feeding. I started scratching and stuff. Give me that bread. But it was actually pretty good. It felt really good. It was just interesting. And now we could talk about that later. But now I have so much more insight and things to do to eat raw. So.
Yeah. When I was first considering just changing my diet, I was seriously looking into a raw diet, and I actually at the time they have since closed, but the Awaken cafes. No, not Awaken, but Cafe Gratitude.
Yes, talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And Cafe Gratitude was in Berkeley, and it was also in Whole Foods in Oakland. Yep. And they sold a beautiful cookbook, and I bought that cookbook. And I was just thinking, how am I going to do this?
Alicia, we was literally having this conversation before we got on air. She got the same cookbook.
I do.
You know what? Yeah. Something about us. Something about
the stars aligned today.
No, they really are, because we have a lot of similar things
and the
that
fact
we
that
like.
You know Julius, Arkansas.
But So, but I just couldn't make that move. But it sounds like you kind of had a similar path. So continue.
Yes. Well, I do go raw once a week, 1 week out of the month now. So last year I started going, I think in February I started with 1 day a week, 1 day out of the week to go raw. Then I think around September, then I moved it up to 2. And then around September or something, I said, you know what? I'm just going to increase a day every month, so that by the time December hit, I'm up to 7 days, which is a full week. So I did it gradually.
So what kind of, how does your body react to that? And what had kind of induced you to go to 7 days a week raw? And why would you recommend it?
Well, one, it gives my body a break from eating like processed and cooked foods, especially processed foods. And I feel lighter. Like, I have to admit, I'm feeling a lot lighter. I don't feel so sluggish, because the other day, I don't think I slept for over 24 hours. And I crashed at about 9 o'clock last night. That night, I think I talked to you, Mom.
Yeah.
I did not sleep that
whole
whole night.
Who was that person?
I'm sorry, Mr. Cat.
My bad. Right.
I did that, and I remember saying that. And I just saw that interview too when you did that. So the raw, but in terms of the benefits and why, it was another way to be able to taste the food in its
natural form. Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that it changed my taste buds changed, and I began to appreciate the rawness
natural
of that.
And everything.
Because you couldn't have told me to eat raw kale. Now I'm like, raw kale, all right.
But all about it.
All about it.
I struggle to this day to eat spinach with nothing on it. With nothing. Now,
you gotta put spinach. You gotta take a lemon, get some lemon juice on it, and put some salt. Still raw.
Yeah, that's true. But nothing. I have a friend who buys a whole bag and she eats it like she's eating Lay's potato chips. And I'm just like, it's so bitter, and I'm all wimping out on it. But she could do it. So that, maybe it doesn't really have to be a goal that I have, but I struggle with spinach.
I find myself more so in the springtime, summertime, going more towards the raw, just because it's warmer outside. And so much more refreshing to eat when it's hot outside, when everything is raw. During the winter, you always want that one warm meal.
That comfort, so something that kind of warms up your insides.
Yeah, I find myself in the wintertime either having some soup or just something warm in midday, But now 2011 comes, and now you're looking at raw. What makes you want to convert from being a vegetarian over to a vegan at this point in your life, since you've been doing it for 30 plus years?
So the transition I became vegan in September of 2016.
You remember the day? September is a great month, by the way.
It's a great month. It must be somebody's birthday around that month.
It
I don't know.
definitely.
I'm just psychic. Let me think. It was the first week of September. So it was right around Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
And I had done that master cleanse, eliminate things. So I said, well, I'm going to do this for a little bit to get back on track. One, I had gained a lot of weight. And I, now I'm a little over 50. My family has a history of diabetes, high blood pressure, digestive cancers. Like my mom had colon cancer. I've got several family members who've had cancer in different ways. Great uncle passed, and my mom is pre-diabetic. Pretty much all my aunts are diabetic, great aunt. So my uncle and I said, you know what? I want to change my story because I'm going down that path. And even though I've been vegetarian, but I was, I let a junk food. I could sit and eat a bag of chips. Not a problem.
Vegan and vegetarian don't mean healthy.
It sure does.
Not.
The words don't mean healthy.
You can donuts. You can still eat potato chips saying, well, I'm not eating meat. All those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could be a junk food vegetarian and a junk food vegan, or,
You
so
sure can.
that was what it was. And I was at least, 20, 30 pounds overweight. I was heavy. And I remember walking up the stairs at BART, and I went, why am I getting to the top of these stairs going, more problems, more money, more problems. I was like, okay, this has got to. This is not going to work, So I did that, and then I came across this book called A Plant-Based Life by Michaela Carlson, and that's Carlson with a K.
Okay.
And I started reading that book, and it talked about white flours and white sugars and what it meant to be plant-based. And I went, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. Since this seems to be my history, read a book, I'm going to give it a try. Then it becomes a lifestyle. So that's what kind of got me started.
Wow.
And I have not turned back since.
So was that another overnight process? Was it you read the book, it made sense, and then you cut out the eggs and the cheese immediately? Or was it kind of like that gradual process with the raw that you kind of started eliminating slowly but surely?
No, that was just straight on in.
The light switch went off and just
straight on in. I was like, no time
jumped
like the
in
present.
both feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have a tendency to do that.
That's good.
Yeah.
You got to take a leap of faith.
Yeah, it was. And I never would have thought I'd be sitting here talking to you guys.
Yeah. So now you've created, well, at least on social media, you call it the hold on, let me get this right. Plant-Based Vegan Sistah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
I like that.
And now you're doing events and everything. So what are some of these events that you're putting on for the community?
So I have created an event, and it's called Vegan Curious. And there are taste testing events, pretty much. And the reason why I came up with the idea of Vegan Curious is that, I'd run into friends and people like, oh, no, I can't do vegan. Oh, that's not going to taste good. Oh, girl, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. No, so it was like, well, you guys are just missing the whole concept. What makes you think that it's not going to taste good?
Yeah.
Right. So, I decided to, I'm going to just come up with an idea called Vegan Curious and do a taste test.
I was going to say, it's so funny though, when they eat just regular food, say if they went out to a Chinese restaurant and it didn't taste good, that doesn't stop them from eating Chinese food.
Right.
They just stop going to that restaurant.
Right. And then I was like, well, it doesn't have any flavor. I said, so do you think that raw meat had flavor before you put seasoning on it? I was just saying, right? So the same seasons that you put on that meat are the same seasons that you could put in everything else, less the meat, and you'll still get the same taste.
And give it its own spice.
Yeah. Right? So, but these events, I started it in November. The first event was November 2018, and it was a Thanksgiving theme. So I made a vegan and non-vegan sweet potato pie, cornbread dressing, potato salad.
Felicia's hungry right now. Look, her stomach is grumbling. She over there licking her lips.
It just sounds delicious.
And so I had someone speaking from the Factory Farming Coalition, and she came and did a presentation, had little gift bags for people. And then what the premise is, you come, you taste the things, and you have to, it's a blind taste test, sort of, right? So I don't label which ones are vegan and which ones are not vegan.
Oh, interesting. So, okay. And people are like, this is so good.
Exactly.
This is vegan.
I had a brother at the end of the event said, how much you selling that vegan sweet potato pie? I said, I'm not selling vegan sweet potato pies. He said, no, you got a whole one right over there. How much you selling that for? I was like, well, okay, I'm not selling because I got to cut a piece out for my boyfriend, but you can have some more. He said, I'll pay you $20 for that pie. I was like, what? He said, that was vegan? You sure it was vegan? That was good old sweet potato pie. So, I was like, that just let me know when people start to taste it.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that's kind of what. And so I took it that, and it was a great success. So I said, okay, I'm gonna run with it. Okay. And now I'm gonna go ahead and brand them, because I think that it's a great way to introduce people to trying it out. And sometimes people, well, is there anything not vegan there? It's like, yeah, there are. Like last one I did, it had chili. Because it was January and it's kind of cold. So I did something that was warm. And we did vegan chili, and I did cornbread. So we had vegan and non versions of the cornbread. And then we had different crackers. And then people had to taste the crackers and tell me which ones were vegan and which ones were not. And surprisingly enough, most of them there were. And those little Bavita cookies, those little cute little tasty cookies. Right. Oh my God, they're vegan, but they so good.
Yes.
And they got a blueberry one. So anyway, that was
I love those. Yes.
So I want to, with these Vegan Curious events, is just to introduce people to it, and let's think about it and taste it out. So we
get those conversations out there.
Exactly. And it's amazing because a lot of people are curious. I think people are curious and want to give it a try, and we learn things by where we taste, smell, and feel. Right, and that's when we become attached to it. That's when we kind of, smell, you get turned off, like, that stink, I don't want to touch to you, so it's that.
But they still eat chillins though, because that smells like death.
It is pretty stinky. It smells like death.
That just hits you in the face as soon as you walk in the house. But they still eat it. That never made sense to me. And they think we weird.
I can't say it on the radio when I call those things.
Yeah, they do stink.
But so becoming vegetarian, becoming vegan, have you influenced anybody in your family or anybody to be curious amongst your inner circle? Actually, to kind of look at it, that who wasn't?
Yeah, actually, I have a cousin of mine. She's, being more conscious about it. She started exercising now, and she's getting her, I think, well, it wasn't just me, but it was, someone else. But, talking every day and trying things out. She's, I tried this out. My mom, I live with my mom. And so she'll try some of my vegan. She's even made stuff for me that's vegan. So I
Okay.
made this mushroom soup. It's vegan, or I did this as vegan. My daughter, for Christmas, 2 Christmases in a row now. One, the very first Christmas, she made me vegan Snickers and vegan peanut butter cups. So she's, doing stuff.
See, now I got to get that recipe for my wife, because that's the one thing she misses is her peanut butter cups. The Reese's, you know how they have the Reese's peanut butter cups?
That would be kind of easy, just use dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate,
yeah. That's what I would think. She said it's the peanut butter that they use for the Reese's is like a special kind of peanut butter. It has that certain kind of flavor. Kind of trying to emulate that.
Well, you have to taste that. That would be interesting to do, though.
Yeah.
But, well, it was good. So she, and then I've got a couple of friends around me that are at least trying it.
Okay.
Like one of my assistants, she's, saying, well, can you put a meal plan together for me? So people are, thinking about it, and they're seeing the journey and trying things out. I had some friends who were like, yeah, why don't you go ahead and make us some, we just had a girls' weekend a couple weeks ago. And so a friend of mine, she's into bourbon tasting and stuff. So she said, well, why don't you go ahead and do a vegan version of what I'm making, and add some stuff to that for the taste, for her tasting.
Yeah.
So, and then the next day I made vegan breakfast.
Okay.
So we had crab cake.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna call it no crab cake. No crab cake. Country grits, and then some sautéed spinach.
Would you use like chickpeas or something to emulate the?
Yes, it's a recipe from Sweet Potato Soul.
Okay.
So it combines the hearts of palm and chickpea.
Okay, to give it the texture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
See, this is what happens when we bring Felicia into the studio and she hasn't had lunch yet. Everything sounds good. She's like, feed me.
Right. So tell me about some of your events. Like, what have you done in the recent past? And then we can talk about what's coming up.
So the recent past, as I mentioned, we had the Vegan Curious event. So we had one in November, which was the first one. Then I just did the second one in January. And that one was, like I said, about the chili. Yeah. And it was actually, and each one has its theme. Mm-hmm. So that one, the one in January, was about stocking your kitchen. So I try to, give you an educational portion of it, or give you ideas on how you can transition and some of the things to have in your cabinet. So that one was about that. So we talked about how to stock your kitchen. I had some, items on display that said, believe it or not, you have vegan options in your cabinet right now.
Exactly.
You have them right now.
And people fail to realize things that they eat every day is plant-based and vegan.
Yes,
all their fruits, vegetables, you know what I'm saying? It's like they think it's a whole separate thing that they have to learn how to do.
Right.
And I think for some people that seems kind of overwhelming. So they're like, oh, I'm just going to stick with what I know. Because this vegan thing is just so different.
Yep.
So I think the word scares them more than anything.
So let's talk about a little bit more about stocking your cabinet. What can I put in my cabinet that would support my new vegan lifestyle?
Well, I would say definitely have some garbanzo beans in there, because garbanzo beans, you can make all kinds of stuff with garbanzo beans. You can make yourself a no tuna salad. And I actually did a Facebook Live that's on my page at Plant-Based Vegan Sistah on Facebook, that I did a cooking and I showed how to make it online.
Smash it up, use the vegan mayo, cut up the onions and everything. I make
whatever you
I
put
make
in
a
your
cold,
tuna fish.
I make a cold chickpea. What?
Would you share?
We're gonna have the chickpeas.
We're gonna have a cook-off
on the chickpeas.
Man, put a little
I
pickle.
think mine is pretty good.
I'm not gonna tell you the recipe. I'm just gonna show up and show out.
And
That's
show
all I'm
out,
saying.
show
Yeah,
out,
I want to show up and show out.
Well, don't go looking at my video. Wait a minute.
We're gonna have a blind taste test on that.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I see you and raise you.
Okay.
Let's see what else. Oh, so chickpeas. You can have some plant-based milk for sure. You can have the Bragg's. Jeez, I'm sorry, my brain sometimes. Bragg's, because that can be your seasoning. It's like a soy sauce, but they also have coconut aminos. I know soy sauce is something, but I understand a lot of people try to stay away from soy.
Yeah. We'll put a pin on that because I do want to talk about that, but keep going.
Okay.
I want to talk about the cabinet still.
Okay. Some flour, like whole wheat flour. I myself try to stay away from whole white flours and white sugars. So I'll do stuff like coconut sugar or date sugar, tamarindo sugar. Tamarindo sugar is a good sugar. And then I'll use like stuff like coconut flour, the whole wheat flour, spelt flour. So these are all things that are kind of more natural and they're not overly processed.
Yeah.
So definitely have some of those in your cabinet. What else you would have? Your basic seasonings. Oh, your basic seasonings. Some black beans, because you can make your good little black bean burger. Coconut milk, my personal favorite.
Yeah.
If I could, I'd put coconut milk in everything.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take a bath with coconut milk one day.
Coconut milk is one of my staples, too. If I want to just do a nice curry.
Yes.
That's it. Throw some vegetables in there. And I'm hungry.
Yeah. Quinoa. Definitely have some quinoa in there. Because when I first started, I ate a lot of quinoa instead of rice.
Okay.
So and quinoa is a great source of protein as well. So you get a double digit there. And then brown rice. You know, I'm getting ready to try my hand at some black rice. So I bought some and I haven't.
Oh,
is it?
I've never had that.
My wife has made black rice, and I like it better than the brown rice.
Really?
Me personally.
So what kind of flavor does black rice have?
It's nothing that I can compare it to.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
very
like a
unique.
texture.
So,
Yeah.
for example, when I eat brown rice, I like it because it kind of has that nutty flavor to it. So, it's a departure even from the nutty flavor of a brown rice.
Yeah, don't taste nothing like bread. Yeah, don't.
No,
to me, it doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
And is it soft or?
No, it is soft. I'm guessing it's depending on how you cook it, but when she cooks it, it's nice and soft. When we do a play on our tacos, Taco Tuesdays and everything, we use the black rice in a little corn mixture that she makes with like the chopped up vegetables, some corn. Ooh. So yeah, it's like a little yeah.
Okay, coming over.
That sounds for dinner.
Hey, what? You always be busy, Felicia. Man, you more than welcome.
I'm just like, where was the Taco Tuesday invitation? Where was the tuna sandwich invitation? Okay,
listen out.
Chickpea tuna, not tuna.
No
chickpea tuna. You
no
know
tuna.
Folks know that I'm vegan, so they know what I'm talking about. The chickpea tuna.
Hold on, we got a couple people. Let's see what they're saying out there.
Questions?
Yeah. Oh, we got Ananda.
Oh, hey, Ananda.
Hey, what's going on?
Blissfully vegan.
Ooh. So they just
shout now.
Yeah,
hey, everybody.
Hey. Everybody knows me. I do my little 10 hands. Hey.
So those are some of the must-haves in the kitchen.
This is some must-haves. That kind of gets you started with some basic stuff.
So essentially at your events, now you're starting to add a workshop component, it sounds like, where you're actually sitting people down saying, hey, if you're looking to convert over, if you guys have these currently in your cabinets, great. And these are some add-ons that you might want to shop for to have the proper meals.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people also got away from cooking. So getting away from cooking, now they're always going out. And I think that's another thing that makes people like, oh, well, where am I going to find something plant-based now? Yes. Well, you need to get in the kitchen and cook you something plant-based because that's the best plant-based food you're going to get.
That's true.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. And that's going to be another, as I go on, he's going to go more themes or more topics to cover. So like a little small topic, because the events are only 2 hours. I don't want to keep people long periods of time. It's not a whole day thing. So stuff like how to eat when you go out to eat, traveling as a vegan, because I've done that. I went to Cabo and found several vegan restaurants, and one of them was really, really good. From
Cabo.
Happy Cow.
Yep. And Happy Cow.
You got the app? I got the app.
Is it vegan?
I do have the app. Is it vegan?
Yeah.
So I told them like,
I use that. Yeah, it'd be messing me up though. I'm like, oh man,
you got that one ingredient.
Like, oh, I thought that message you up because it was a bag of pretzels. I knew. I had looked at the ingredients and said, oh no, it's vegan. Oh yeah. And I think I even did a picture with my little carrot dog. And then when I did, is it vegan? I went, oh, wah, wah.
Yeah. It was all bad at that point. You had to do it. Put it back on the shelf.
You got to sit it back. Station ID?
Station ID. So, welcome back to 89.3 KPFB. You're tuned into Health Matters Radio. Today we have Tamiko, Miss Plant-Based Vegan Sistah herself, telling us about the events and everything that she's putting on throughout the Bay Area. And she's going to tell us a little bit more about what she has going on.
Okay. All right. Well, not this Sunday. Coming up next Sunday.
Following
Sunday. Following Sunday. I got to get it all together.
Give them the dates.
March 24th, in 2019. It's going to take place in San Francisco. It's from 10 to 3. It's taking place at the Fillmore Heritage Center, which is on Fillmore Street, 1330 Fillmore Street. And it's going to be from 10 to 3. There will be a vendor showcase from 10 to 1. And then from 1 to 3, we'll have the Vegan Curious event with the taste testing. We're actually going to have Cat Fitness on the panel along with Coach D. So I'm looking forward to that.
We're hanging out having fun.
Yeah.
So y'all make sure that y'all get y'all tickets. How do they get some tickets to this event?
You can go to www.Planttbasedvegansistah.com, and the Eventbrite link will be there as well. Or you can also visit me on my Facebook page at Plant-Based Vegan Sistah on my Facebook and IG, all the same name.
All the same name?
All the same name.
Okay.
Keep it simple. That's all about.
So what made you want to create these events? What was the inspiration behind saying that you want to put these all together?
I wanted to reach out specifically I wanted to reach out to our community.
Okay.
And for women over age of 45, like I was trying to, my target audience is like looking at people that look like me, and because I can relate to that, and just to let you know that it's fun, it's simple, you can do it, it's easy, you know, because if I can do it, anybody can do it, you know, for the most part, and that's my whole idea is Plant-Based Vegan Sistah. I like to say we keep it real and relatable, inspiring you to adopt a relatively healthy lifestyle, just one plate at a time.
Okay, you go with that slogan. I like that.
So what about the woman that feels that, you know, she's matured and she can make a switch? What kind of conversation would you have with somebody like that? They feel like, I've been doing it for 40 years. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, I start out probably just asking a couple of questions, find out what they're eating now, and then maybe give a suggestion. Okay, instead of, you don't have to make the whole change right now and just go cold turkey, pick one plate. Start with lunch. Yeah. Right? Or start with breakfast. Start with something really, really simple.
I'm glad you said that. Because I have a cousin who's actually... She needs
to be at this event. That's what she needs.
Maybe I'll get her. Maybe I'll get her to come to this event because just like you were talking about going vegetarian around Thanksgiving. Man, my family around Thanksgiving, if I say that I'm vegan, they're like, you better bring your snacks. My cousin Crystal, she's probably listening. I love you, Crystal. She said, bring your snacks, and Lord knows, she put meat in everything. I swear there was nothing that wasn't touched with me. Not the dressing, not the candy yams.
How she put meat in candy yams?
She did. Well, butter.
Oh, okay.
Butter and marshmallows.
Oh, yeah.
All of that. That's meat. You might as well just put a ham hock in the...
That's true. That's a good point. I was going to say, what? I've been in that situation as a vegetarian. When my ex-husband's family, they did picnics. And so one picnic, I don't know what it was, but everybody brought meat.
Salad.
There was no potato salad. So I had
just looking
barbecue sauce on a piece of bread.
Ooh, man.
I was like, why didn't I even bring anything? What was I thinking, right?
I know.
But it was such an off situation. I went, what in the world?
I was going to say, that's what happens when you don't bring out one of your plates.
I know, I messed up. That was a while ago, but that was my vegetarian days. I was like, I can't even get, I was like, no, what? All meat?
No, all meat. You better, she tell me, you better bring your snacks.
But I'm adaptive, and I go with the flow of things. I know there are a lot of vegans out there who, are very, in some cases, some of them are judgmental, and, they want to push it on you like, you're going to die, and it's just like, but I'm actually a little bit more laid back, person. I feel that everybody's journey is their own journey. Exactly. It's got its own twists and turns, sometimes you make a U-turn, you got to come back. It's a journey, and it's something to enjoy the journey, and know that you've got benefits that come with it. So I'm definitely not one of those judgmental vegans, and I do want to if it's okay for you guys, I want to let people know the difference between plant-based and vegan.
Yes, please.
Let's
explain.
educate them.
Because there is a difference between plant-based and vegan. Vegan is usually those who has more of an ethical reasoning behind it. A lot of times, so that means it's not only what you eat, but it's also
the animals.
It's about the animals, and so, for instance, if we're looking at food, this is one of the examples I love to give. Oreo cookies are vegan.
Yes, they are.
But Oreo cookies are not plant-based.
Yeah.
Because they are there's a overly processed food with like the sugar. So it's got white sugar in it. And even though some vegans don't eat white sugar because it's processed through bone char, if you really look at it, if you don't go all the way deep into it, they get all the way deep. I'm quite not that deep, y'all. Not that deep. But plant-based is eating whole foods. Yeah. So not processed, which is why without white flours, white sugars, honey, and I know that's a huge debate as well in the vegan world is honey. I didn't eat honey before that much because when I found out what it was, I was like, ew.
Yeah, bee vomit.
Yeah,
just saying.
She said it, y'all. I didn't. I try not to say it, but I was like, ew, I don't want that. So that's
Yep, that's what it is.
I couldn't. I was like, I can't. So I'm gonna use my agave.
Yeah.
Plus, it's great.
Some nectar.
Nectar.
And it's great on the glycemic index as well. So but that's your difference between plant-based and it's also not cooking with oils.
Okay.
Right. So no oil. So because olive oil is considered processed, so you use olive oil. Yeah. So
it doesn't matter, cold pressed. Any pressed, it is processed.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the key difference, and I like to use the Oreo cookie as a great example of what's the difference between vegan and plant-based, and as well as the ethical reasons between the two.
Yeah, some people is like, isn't all the same thing? It's like, technically no.
Technically no.
Yeah, I see why you might think that, but technically, there's some differences in there.
Hence the reason why I came up with the name Plant-Based Vegan Sistah, because sometimes I'm vegan, sometimes I'm plant-based. So I figured I'm just covering all my bases.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. How I travel on the road, being plant-based or vegan. So I can see how you would have dualities about your eating habits.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's so funny. Even when you go out to like a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods, like even getting a salad, it's hard to find a vegan salad. You know what I'm saying? They have like one option. Everything has eggs or something.
Funny you should say that.
Cheese.
That's true. The cheese. That's true.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I know.
Where they put cheese, bread, and meat in salad. How you can't find salad with just plants in it?
Yeah.
Isn't that what a salad was supposed to be? It used to be that way.
Once upon a time, it was.
That's the craziest thing to me. I'm like, every salad has something in it, and cheese and everything.
And
it's like people just feed on folks' addiction, and then they create food, and every food they feed to that addiction. So even if somebody's saying, "Well, I had broccoli," but you put cheese sauce on
it. You covered up the nutritional value of it.
Right.
Because believe it or not, sugar is addicting.
Oh, yeah.
Sugar is.
Sure.
We are all addicted to sugar.
Yeah, just like cocaine.
Shaking over
I think it might be
now.
worse. Yeah. Because, I noticed like this week, we were talking earlier, this week I'm going raw. So I'm, kind of have not had a lot of sweets, although I'm eating fruit, but it's a natural sugar.
Exactly.
But I noticed that when I first started going plant-based and not eating as much sugar, that I started losing the the taste for it.
Uh-huh.
But as soon as I introduced it back, then I wanted to snack more or eat a little bit more. And it just kept me eating.
I want to throw this out there because, you know, I've heard a couple women put this out there, and I can't quite relate, but they say, you know, a certain time of the month, you know, their sweet tooth enhances.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but what are some of the things that you as ladies could recommend for some of our viewers out there that maybe have those issues and want to be plant-based, you know, how to overcome those kind of cravings?
Wow. That's a challenging one because those cravings definitely do come up, and some even crave meat during those times.
Yeah.
And so
See, I haven't experienced those hormonal issues, so I'm leaning on y'all to kind of see what kind of advice, if you have any. You know, if you don't have any.
Well, I don't know. I think I would say you might beef up your fruit.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Make a fruit.
Find natural alternatives.
Yeah.
Like eat more fruit.
Or you can make a chia seed pudding. And so now you're getting your protein, and you can satisfy your sweet tooth. Add some little cacao nibs or a little cocoa powder on there. And then you can sweeten it with a little bit of agave, or, you know, chop up a date and put that in there. One of the little nuts, you know, sprinkle some nuts on it. And it's like pudding.
Strawberries,
pudding.
yes.
Yeah.
Or
you can make an avocado pudding, you know, using avocado with chocolate.
I was gonna say the coldest avocado pudding. Well, the first time I ever tasted it, do you know Chef Babette?
Yes. I love her.
Oh my
She's in a
god.
movie.
She is a hilarious.
She made an avocado pudding. We had an event over at the Veg Hub, right? And she was giving out samples, and she made this avocado pudding. I never had avocado pudding, and I couldn't even fathom like how that works.
Right.
But when she made it, it made so much sense, and I was like, "Dang, that's heckin' good."
And it was good.
Oh my god!
Just tell me a little bit.
Well, I forget how she did. She blended up the avocados, put a little bit of agave and something else in it. It was real simple to make. And then I tasted it. I was like, "This is bomb!"
Just
like,
sounds so good,
man.
Because when you mix it up, it becomes the consistency.
It's creamy.
It's creamy.
Yeah.
You know, and
just like a pudding.
Like a pudding.
Yeah.
So you can still have, you know, satisfy that sweet tooth, but just choose healthier options. Or if you want to make, you feel like you want some cookies, you can. There's a way you can make it a healthy cookie. Like maybe make an oatmeal cookie and use, you know, fresh, grind up your oats and put, instead of using as sugar, use dates or something like that to sweeten it. There's a lot of recipes on the internet that have that. You can do date balls.
Where do you find a lot of your recipes at? I'm kind of curious.
Oh my God, dude, I have so many recipe books. It's ridiculous. I walk in the store and I see.
You just grab them off the shelf.
Oh, that's a recipe section. You know,
the light goes.
It does. Like it's calling me. It says, Tamiko, come over.
Let's see. We got a couple more comments. I don't have my glasses on, y'all. Can y'all see that?
That was
it's a
bomb. And I don't like avocados. Well, I love avocados. Even my little baby Marley, he loves avocados.
Shout out little Marley out there.
Yeah, little baby Marley. Nana loves you.
So I see you brought a whole bunch of notes. I'm make sure we cover everything. Was there anything that you have on your notes?
Oh, this
that
was my little notes, but I cheat on myself, so I did that over there. And I just made a list of the events that I'm going to have coming up.
Oh, yeah. So please, absolutely tell us about the events.
So we talked about the March 24th. The Vegan Curious events are events that take place every other month.
Okay.
On the fourth weekend of the month. So it may be a Saturday or it may be a Sunday. I try to keep it to a Saturday.
All right.
This time it was a Sunday just because of venue.
Yeah.
So the next one will be May 25th. And it's going to have a focus on summer eats.
Okay.
There'll be one on July 27th. That's going to be about vegan travel because we're traveling a lot during that time of the year. September is going to be a fun one about veganizing veganizing recipes, because I'm sure that's something a lot of people are interested in. Well, how can I veganize this?
Yeah.
You can. And then November 23rd will be the anniversary event, and that will be a Thanksgiving feast.
It's my birthday, y'all.
Ah, happy
Yes,
birthday.
anything vegan, send
Yeah.
my way.
See, you got to go to that event for your birthday.
Okay,
There you go.
I sure do.
And then we have another event that's in the works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tentative date right now for June 15th.
Okay.
And something I feel is missing is
The missing link.
the missing link.
Okay. Dun dun dun.
Ready?
The anticipation. She got me fired up. I want to know now. I need to know. Tell me.
A vegan food and wine pairing.
Oh, now that's a pretty mature aspiration. I mean, who'd have thought?
Because
that's excellent.
I went wine tasting with my girlfriends.
And they only had cheese.
And it was cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
I said, what about the vegans?
Right.
And they were very accommodating. It was Brown Winery, Brown Estates,
Mm-hmm.
the African American Brown Winery in Napa. And what she did was she was accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
And we took the cheese off, and I had some of the jelly. And I said, well, make sure the crackers not cooked with butter. So she checked the ingredients on the butter. So then I was sitting there going, you know what?
So have you partnered up with them? Is that who you're doing your event with, or
Not yet. I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna tell you, this
There you
is
go.
so.
Put your
Yeah.
seed out
This
there
idea
and
is so fresh
Yes,
that
it
I
is.
just contacted a sommelier right before coming here to say, hey, would you
Yeah.
like to work with me on this event? So this is how
Fantastic.
fresh this is. This
Yeah.
you guys are getting
That's a
hot off
great
the presses
event.
information.
That is a great
Man.
event.
Yeah, because I love
Yeah,
wine, I love
yes.
food, so hey,
Right.
and I'm a vegan. So
Come on,
let's
we're
do
gonna
for
blend
us.
it all together.
Put it
One-stop
together.
shop.
There you go. There you go. So look out for that. I'm excited about that. And then I also do vegan field trips. So
Okay.
I've gone.
Where to?
We've done the Veg Fest. Like last year, we went to Oakland Veg Fest and San Francisco Veg Fest, and then we did there was a vegan pop-up at Sabelle's Pizza in San Francisco. That was my first one.
Delicious.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the better vegan
Oh,
pizzas out here. Sabelle's
so
right there on
Sabelle's-
9th. It was right by the San Francisco Veg Fest.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally
yeah.
up the
Yeah,
block
like
on
the
9th.
street, yep.
Vegan pizza at Sabelle's anywhere?
Well, the owner, so I believe Sabelle's is privately owned. Each
Okay,
location.
So franchise. Okay.
Yeah. So that particular location,
Had vegan
the
options.
owner's daughter is vegan, so they made a vegan menu.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that menu is
'Cause-
something
Oh
else.
yeah, yeah.
'Cause I
just went there
love-
last
I
month
love
with the
pizza.
kids.
And I kind of miss it, but what I discovered is that I can go to like for example Sliver. I don't like vegan cheese, not really.
Mm.
So I get everything,
Yeah.
but except the cheese on it,
Yeah.
even if it is a vegan crust. And I also fell in love with cauliflower crust that they now sell
Mhm.
at
Trader Joe's.
at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I love the pizza. It finally has come back to me.
Well, you can make you some nice cashew cheese
Oh,
and put
oh,
that
Yeah,
as a
sprinkle it over
spread
the
on there.
top.
yeah, I'm.
No, but I
I'm
mean, you
okay.
know, with
Yeah.
the cashews, make it raw from raw cashews, not
Oh,
like at the store. You make it yourself in the food processor.
okay. All right. That's.
I made a
consideration.
video on that not too
Oh,
long
you
ago.
Did you?
You're not the
Did
only one making videos out here.
Did you share? Did you share? it? Of course
Hey,
you
go
did.
check my Facebook page.
Of
You're gonna
course you
find
did.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll check it
I was
out.
making
I'll check it
smoothies back in the day. I need to go back
Yeah.
and kind of do my smoothies again.
Yeah. So we got all the events.
Yep.
We got everything rolling. You told them your social media, where they can find you.
Mhm.
Now, is there a calendar for these events? So, because if people, haven't heard where you're doing it here, do they go on a website to kind of see a calendar where they can book, or
Yes.
how does that work?
You said this is airing on. Okay. Yes, there
Uh-huh.
will be. Yes, there will be a calendar. I'm gonna put that up.
You gonna put the
Okay.
I'll
calendar?
put that.
Yeah.
Put the calendar up
Okay.
ASAP
Yep, it's
because the
coming.
dates are there. So I'm gonna
All
put it
right,
up.
it's
Yes,
coming.
for sure, definitely.
That's good
Work in
stuff.
process. Continuous improvement.
Put it on the to-do list.
Yes.
Knocking it out.
Exactly.
So, go
well,
ahead. No,
well,
I've been doing a lot of talking today. I'm not
there was
gonna.
a conversation that I put a pin in, and
That's
that
right, she
is
did.
Oh yeah.
was the soy, and a lot of people have been moving away from soy because it's mass produced and it's a lot of it's GMO. Just could you share your thoughts on that?
There's a lot of that. I will look for if I'm doing soy, I do GMO. I have reduced my soy. So I don't do as much tofu. I'm paying attention to some items that have soy in it, like soy sauce. So I'll do tamari is still soy sauce. There's also shoyu, but now I'm starting to do like coconut amino acids and the Brags. I personally don't have an issue with the soy. I mean, it's a great source of protein.
Yeah.
I just try to find, the kind that's non-GMO. And just eat it in moderation. It's not like I'm eating it every day.
Do you know that Bragg's is soy?
I thought it wasn't.
It is. Bragg's
is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is.
See, you learn something new every day.
Then I've been telling people wrong. Okay, so they just stick to the coconut aminos.
Okay. Although Bragg's is good, but yeah. I eat soy every so often because I prefer soy creamer than almond milk or coconut milk creamers.
Really?
In my teas because I don't drink coffee.
Do you like there's the one that's the blend of almond and coconut. And that's a good creamer.
Okay.
Khalifa. Yeah. You don't like Khalifa.
To me, they use guar in it and makes things a little bit too thick for my taste.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
I'm just being picky, but I'm just sharing my opinion.
No, I was gonna say, it's so funny because everybody in the plant-based community, I can't say everybody, but a lot of people in the plant-based community have this huge issue with the soy, right? But soy is in everything, even if you're not plant-based.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
It is in everything.
Everything.
You can't even run it. It's like sugar.
Yeah, right. It's like so many people just identify as like, well, you got to stay away from that soy. That aren't plant-based, like that's the reason why they haven't gone plant-based.
Right.
You know you're eating
when
soy.
There's so many options.
Yeah,
right.
Where you get your protein? Soy is bad for you, so
right.
I'm going to continue to eat beef.
Right.
But then they don't understand all the other products and ingredients that have the soy in it, but they don't think about that.
Exactly.
It's so funny how people just lock into one thing, and like you said. Me personally, I don't eat soy that often. It's like maybe once a month, if that. I might have something with a little bit of soy in it. But I always tell people, listen to your body because your body will tell you. You know, if you bite into some soy and you start feeling like some mucus or you feel like it's not sitting well in your stomach or whatever the case may be, guess what? It's probably something that's not good for your system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I use tempeh too. I like tempeh.
Yeah. So. Guess what? It's about that time, Tamiko.
I figured as much.
We was having so much fun. This is the first time I've done this, so I'm having so much fun. I'm like, wow, I got headphones. I feel like I gotta take a picture of me with the headphones.
This is a good conversation too. Boy, it's amazing how fast an hour flies by.
One last time, let's let them know about this upcoming event because that's next Sunday. Where they can get tickets, where they can follow you on social media. And just keep them updated.
Okay. The event is called Vegan Curious Break Fit Fast. Get it? Breakfast and fit all in there together. So Break Fit Fast. I'm actually doing this event.
That sounds like something you would come up with.
Doing this event with the organic beauty queen who's going to be doing smoothies at the event. We are sponsored with the 100 Black businesses. So it's going to take place March 24th at the Fillmore Heritage Center, which is at 1330 Fillmore Street in San Francisco.
I'll actually come. So if you want to say hi, I'll come. I'll be there.
Come check your girl out.
You're speaking there, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we should do a recording there.
Yeah.
Do a show there.
Boom. See?
You heard it here.
So excited. 10 to 3, so come out, check out some of the vendors that'll be there from 10 to 1. The program itself from 1 to 3. You can get tickets at Plantbasedvegansistah.com, which will hit on the link. It'll take you over to Eventbrite. Cost is $25 for the program from 1 to 3. the event from 10 to 1. There's no charge. You got to taste some smoothies, and you got to decide which cereal is the vegan cereal. Come check that out. We're going to have taste tests, so come check it out. That's March 24th, 10 to 3 at the Fillmore Heritage Center in San Francisco.
So what if they forget to get their tickets on your webpage? Will they be able to purchase at the door or anything like that?
They can purchase at the door.
Okay.
Yes. And we take credit card, cash, no check.
No checks.
Okay.
We
don't fool with the checks.
I still use checks.
Well, I use cashier's checks, but that's sort of different. Yeah, I hear you.
I give my mom a check every month.
Well, thank you for coming out, Plant-Based Sister Tamiko.
Thank you.
Hold on,
Thank
Plant-Based
you.
Vegan Sister
Plant-Based
Tamika.
Vegan
Well,
Sistah,
thank
Tamiko
you.
Garner. I got the name right.
Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you guys for having me on the show. This is like so cool. Yay.
So, guys, make sure you're tuning into 89.3 KPFB every Sunday at 2 p.m. for Health Matters Radio. You can follow us on Instagram at Health Matters Radio. You can also follow us on Facebook, Health Matters Radio. Where can they find you, Felicia? Tell them your social media.
Health Matters on Instagram. Health Matters Radio on Instagram. Don't have a big social media presence for reasons I'll come back, but right now I'm kind of dark on that. But you could definitely hit me up in an email if you want to come on the show or want to share some ideas with me. I'm always open to that, and you can get me at FeliciaB@kpfa.org. And I also take phone calls. You can actually reach me on my phone, and I'll give you that. Which, don't be surprised if it goes to voice message, but I still love you. It's area code 510-763-6403. So you call me, and we can also, chat. If time allows, I'll call you back.
So, guys, you can find me, Cat Fitness, on IG at CatFitness3, Facebook, Cat Fitness, and guess what? I'm posting all this beautiful content onto a YouTube page, Cat Fitness as well. So make sure you check us out, and thank you for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.
Peace.